Hello, Success Circle. Welcome to this week's episode of the series Tuesdays to Slay. This is your weekly dose of no fluff, real, actionable, strategic insights and work that you can immediately deploy and see instant results. This week, I'm talking and breaking down my favorite topic, which is high ticket sales. Money makers don't negotiate their value. They communicate it properly, the right way. Clearly, calmly, without over-explaining. And I'm going to get into this and give you 3 steps that you need to know. This would be the very basics of high-ticket sales, because I constantly, like every day, I talk to you people from the Success Circle, and every day I hear I have a lot of engagement, I have an audience, I make some sales, like my low ticket offers are selling pretty well, but when it comes to high ticket sales, things are not happening that well actually, and I want to talk about that topic today. So if you have been trying to sell high ticket offers and it feels like you're constantly convincing people, it feels like dragging people uphill, this means you are missing the right positioning strategy. This is always about positioning and the language you use to actually talk to your ideal clients, aka the premium clients. Premium clients, what is this? This is not something alien that doesn't exist. This is actually the people who are already looking for the transformation you could provide, and the people who are actually ready to come work with you and do all the work, to follow your methodology, the way you are doing all of this. And they are these ones who are going to commit. They are these ones who are not giving you pricing objections, but they are actually saying, yes, this is exactly what I want, tell me where to pay. This doesn't mean that they are necessarily going to start with a high ticket offer. Sometimes they can start with something that is actually an entry level space, but the point is that these people are going to do the work. The point is that these people are actually ready for the transformation you could provide. And if you are speaking the wrong language, and please watch this session before you go and create more AI fluff, watch this and instantly adjust your positioning and messaging, because otherwise you're just going to produce the wrong content faster, and you will keep speaking to the people who are not your premium buyer. Now, another thing, premium buyer could be different for you and me. Your premium buyer could be very different than mine. So, for example, my premium ideal buyer is someone who is already established, who already has a business, who is already putting content out there, who is already having some sales, but there are many gaps, and these people feel like their income feels capped, sales feel heavy, or it takes a lot of effort to actually generate consistent high ticket sales, to generate consistent high cash months, and they want to normalize this. They want sales and clients to feel easy, to come effortlessly, to watch one 15-minute training and to be like, I know what to do, this is what I'm applying. My ideal client would hate fluff as well, because I'm this type of mentor and person who doesn't rely on fluff. But yours, you need to define it for yourself. Who is your premium ideal client? And now, after this training, I want you to do the 3 steps that I'm going to give you, and then to check your posts, your lives, your sales pages, etc., and see if you're actually speaking to this person. These are very micro adjustments. In most of the cases, when I do these micro adjustments with my clients, what happens is that they sign their clients in literally a couple of minutes of posting a piece of content. So this is really working at a lightning speed. Just a second to tag everyone. I think I tagged everyone. Yeah, let me know if you hear me, if you see me, who is here live with me. I don't see any comments. Yeah, if you have comments, if you have questions, feel free to ask them, to add them here, put a hashtag replay if you are watching this, and share this live video with whoever needs to hear this. So I want to show you today, I want to show you the language that actually breaks and what to do for the people who would pay like 2k, 5k, 10k, 15k, whatever your pricing is, and what they actually care about. Because a lot of times I see that coaches and business owners and entrepreneurs, they are speaking about something they care about, not what your ideal client cares about. And this is, in probably 90% of the cases, this is the thing we have to refine first. So let me give you 3 steps to high ticket sales. I will tell you 2 stories that helped me, like situations that helped me master my high ticket sales, because you're going to find many answers. First of all, first thing first, I didn't learn high ticket sales in the polished version of marketing or in a coaching space or like from someone else. It didn't happen from the things that you can see online. I learned this in a real business environment. I learned it way earlier than it was. Not when I started my business. I already knew that and had that skill when I started my business. I learned it in my corporate career as a brand manager. For those of you who don't know me, I have started my career in a huge international company where I was a brand manager for 5 years, and I have scaled multiple brands to multi 6 and 7 figures. This is my background before I became an entrepreneur, a mentor, whatever you call it. So in these environments, we were spending hours and days refining the positioning for each and every product and the messaging, the core messaging, the key message. Because guess what? That's the fundamentals. This is what makes sale. These 2 sentences that immediately tell your ideal client what is this doing and who is it for. And in corporate and big brands, everything that you are seeing, even the products you're using in your day-to-day life, you cannot imagine how much work these brands put in their key messaging. And this is why I'm constantly telling you, messaging, positioning your content is the fundamental thing you need to master. And this is something that works for your business and for your sales, no matter the stage. It doesn't matter if you're just starting or you have already made like 100k per year, per month, or you already make millions. And I also have worked with clients who already make millions and their messaging needs refinement. This is the most common situation when sales feel slow, when something is not working or the type of client you're attracting is not the right one. So let me get into this, and this is the first thing I want to tell you, and then I'm going to give you the steps. The first time I understood actually high ticket language, aka how to speak to these people who are ready to buy our high level product, service, space, whatever you're selling, coaching space, hypnotherapy or money mindset program, whatever it is. As I told you, this was not in a coaching program. It was in that corporate environment, brand rooms, campaign strategy meetings, the kind where nothing is said directly, but everything is being positioned very precisely. The questions you need to start asking yourself not what this offer is, but what does make the buyer, my premium buyer, believe about themselves when they are working with me. That's the real question behind every high value decision. How would my buyer feel? What is going to transform? What is going to change? What is the benefit? What is the ultimate transformation for them? Not the maybe transformation, not the transformation for the person who is not going to do all the work, but the ultimate brilliant transformation you can deliver. So I learned this when I had to launch one of the most expensive products for the company at that time. And what happened was that most of, like, bigger part of the team, of the marketing team, of the sales team, they were very used to sell using the pricing tool, saying that our products have great quality and great price, and they were oftentimes using but our price is way better than the competitor. And the marketing and sales force loved using this as the main driver, and this was like really very common. And I quickly realized I actually had to build a completely new culture for the product inside the team, first of all, to create a brand strategy and activities that are not going to be focused on the pricing, because this product was actually not cheaper than our competitors. And most of all, we also had an option that was actually much higher price than the competitors. So what happened? Given that this product was 5 times more expensive than most in this category, given that the team really was used to actually selling very affordable products, that's not bad. I just want you to see the difference. So I needed a competitive advantage, first of all. Not only I focused on the more expensive form, because it is absolutely useless to try to sell the same thing that everyone else is doing at the same average price. This is a useless thing to do. I can tell you this 100%. When you are selling high ticket in a market flooded with cheap average products, coaching, programs for any niche, everything is saturated right now, and you're selling an expensive product, a premium product, high ticket product in this market, good price for the good quality for the price is not a strategy. So what I want to tell you, if you want to sell high ticket spaces, forget about this pricing comparison. First of all, within yourself, the first thing. If you are using this as a language to attract your premium buyer, also forget about this. Cheaper, more affordable, like stress relief, this is not the strategy. Get rid of this pain and pricing language in your sales strategy. Okay? This is a downgrade, not something that positions you better. Change the entire angle. Stop competing on price logic. First of all, if you are using this, stop competing in suffering language with your competitors. Stop competing on comments and engagement. This is also very important. These 3 you stop doing immediately. And instead you start speaking on outcome efficiency, ease, quick results and transformation. This was a game changer for me. not what it costs, not suffering, not anxiety, not like, of course there are certain nuances depending on what exactly you're selling, but this is why you can come in Content Rich and we can really refine your own content strategy and messaging and positioning. But in general, stop speaking in suffering language and instead start speaking how fast it makes the transformation happen. How simple it is to use it, to implement it, to create the result, because people value effortlessness more than anything. Nowadays, especially now. About how much friction it removes, how quickly it replaces complexity or their current situation that they are not happy with. Speak to their desires, results, even beauty, ease, speed, identity transformation, whatever you're doing. People want money, love, and health in general. And all that, if it's possible to happen easily, without any problem, and just like that, very convenient. If you want high ticket sales, start showing results, transformation, ease, speed, and power language. In real buyer psychology, especially high level and high value buyers, ease is not a bonus. It is the decision trigger. The result and how this is happening, this is a huge decision trigger. So what I did, I focused the strategy for that product that was 5 times more expensive than anything else. I focused the strategy on the outstanding efficiency, on the unique things, and the easier way to use it, which is, as I just told you, highly important from premium buyers in any category, niche, product, service, whatever you are selling. Why do you think each and every industry is highly focused on creating more comfort, more ease? Things happening like that, lightning speed. The whole world is oriented towards this. Automations, quick things happening quickly, easily, not taking forever. So whatever your transformation is, whatever your methodology is, think about how you can actually communicate it, showing what it makes easier, what it makes effortless, what happens in a way effortless way than what your client is currently used to do and is doing. Studies show that ease of the transformation is a main driving factor in buyer psychology. So what happened next? Very quickly, within a couple of months of applying this strategy for this product, it started generating extremely high revenue with way less volume. Okay, this is so important. That's why I love high ticket sales, because one high ticket sale, let's say you sell a 10K space, this is solving so much effort and saving you so much time. Mastering high ticket sales is going to completely change your business and even your nervous system. You're going to feel way calmer because you are not going to worry, oh, I need 100 people to buy my 100 euros offer or my, I don't know, 30 euros offer. It's totally different game. For your nervous system, for how you feel, for how you build your business, for your bank account, for everything, high ticket sales. To me, this is the mother of sales and income. This is my you know, and the type of buyer, the premium buyer, they are way easier to work with, exactly because they don't want fluff. They will come, they will show up to the calls, they will do the work, and like ideally 99% of the cases, and everything, they are giving you great testimonials, they are having amazing results, and you feel light, they feel light, you win, they win, you make money, they make the transformation they want. So what happened in this case? Let me get back to my story. So this product started generating very high revenue, especially compared to other products. People in the team, in the marketing and sales team, who were still heavily pushing the low ticket products, which is, I'm saying, that's not bad. Of course, there are different types of products, and your offers in your offer suite are going to be different. But those who were heavily focusing only on the well-known products that needed tons of volume to actually make some significant amount of money, they still needed that huge volume. The ones who listened to me and actually very quickly adopted my strategy, the cleverer ones, they did the math. They put just a little bit of effort in this product, but they outperformed the volume 10 times faster, and they got their sales very high. They got their bonuses with ease this quarter, me including. And we broke the benchmarks very quickly. And some people of the team called me and said, I said just 100 pieces of this, and I actually made 20 times more money. And I said, yeah, I told you this is going to happen 3 months ago. So that's why I love high ticket sales. When I started my business, everyone, my friends, like people in the coaching industry, everyone was telling me, no, you should start with something low ticket so people get to know you. And I was like, first of all, my work, the type of work I'm doing, is not something cheap. Second, how would actually serious business owners perceive me if I'm offering something for 10 euros to them? They will laugh and they will not take me seriously. So that's when I actually created my revenue-led positioning, and I started speaking to those established business owners who are already aware of what this work requires, what this work is about, etc., etc. And very quickly, my first client was 3K per month for 3 months, 9K. My second client was 5K per month, so it was like 15K, and my first year was more than 100,000 euros with very few clients. But the type of offer, the type of work I was selling, it was high level work, it was positioned for the right premium buyer, and it was actually selling them speed, ease, efficiency, increased revenue. Okay, so these people were like in 10-15 minutes of finding me, they were, okay, I'm in, let's go for this 3 months offer. So think, what are you currently doing? Do you actually have an offer that is correctly positioned for premium buyers and that is speaking their language? And now I'm going to the next step. What to avoid and what high ticket clients actually care about. Let me make this very simple. The biggest mistake I see people make is that they talk to high ticket buyers like they are convincing a crowd. In reality, high ticket buyers are not looking to be convinced. Most people, what they do online is that they lead with the struggle, they lead with the pain. They lead with what's broken, missing, not working, painful, etc. etc. When you speak to premium buyers, you could say instead, right now you are experiencing this and this because of what you know. Here is how to shift that. But this is leading with the transformation and shifting their current reality. Because if you are not speaking to the desire, to the transformation, and showing them how to actually change their current reality, you're going to attract people who are probably emotionally engaged but financially inactive. Meaning, they are going to comment, they are going to resonate, they are going to love what you're saying, they are going to be in your comments. Probably also they will also come to your DMs. They will relate. They will say, "This is me." They will, build connection with you, but they will not buy. Because there is a different psychology there. If this person, how to recognize if this is your premium buyer, if this person actually was a premium buyer, they would say, this resonates with me, how can I work with you? This resonates with me, how can I join this space? They are, although they have something they experience right now and they want the transformation, they are not sitting in the void. They are saying, I want this transformation. Yes, I want to attract my soulmate. Yes, I want to lose weight sustainably. Yes, I want to lose weight and be healthy. I don't want the yo-yo effect. But they are oriented towards the transformation and doing the work, doing the thing. The first type of people, they are still anchored in this identity of pain. So you want to actually speak to the people who want the decision and direction. High ticket buyers do not buy to be understood, they buy to move forward. So what you need to do that? Messaging mastery. You need to understand the essence of clear communication. Your words, your vocabulary should resonate deeply, ignite a sense of urgency in your audience, and show them the next step. When your messaging connects, it drives buyers to act, transforming their interest into obsession with you. The second thing is that you need very targeted positioning. This is what I'm talking about till now. Identify and articulate who your ideal premium buyer is. What unique solution you provide and how is that more efficient? How is that actually the better thing for them? How is that the obvious choice for them? This is about positioning yourself as the obvious, the only choice in your niche. And clearly defined positioning and targeting makes your content magnetic, pulling in buyers who see you as the only solution and there, where do I pay? Give me the payment link. And the next thing is that the activational part, the activational content, that because content is what you need, of course. And by the way, this is what I'm teaching you in depth for each of these pieces in Content Rich. As I told you, content is the most fundamental part of your business. Regardless if you're doing it online or offline, your positioning and the way you articulate your work is what is going to make your sales, especially high ticket. What activational content is about? This lifts your audience awareness about their needs and priorities. It shows them You're here and you want to go there. Here is how to do it. Come with me. Join me. This isn't an information. Everyone can find information right now. This is a call to action that makes them wanting what you have to offer. Why this matters so much? Because this activational content creates urgency, but not the FOMO type of urgency, but the urgency that shows them what is not going to change for them if they do not come with you. And this is showing them waiting and sitting in the void is not an option. And you will master all of this in Content Reach. This is my whole content to sales system. Your content strategy, premium buyer psychology, the different types of content frameworks you could be using to build your audience, to build visibility, to get like higher reach if you wish. This is the full system. And now let me get back to the high ticket buyers, what they actually want. High ticket buyers search for efficiency, quick results, high quality and easiness. No matter the industry. No matter the industry. Premium sales happen in minutes. Mastering your positioning takes some time, but you will be forever grateful to yourself for doing this. Forever. If you want hot buyers ready to pay, start applying this training right now. Let me give you an example. This is where actually the language becomes your leverage. And here is an example for low level. Under low level, I mean the language that is going to speak to people who are not ready for the transformation. This will help you fix your sales problem. If I have to say this to a premium buyer, I'm not going to say it that way. I'm going to say, this is how you stabilize revenue at a level where your business stops feeling like fluctuations and starts feeling like a sales machine that prints money 24/7. When you master your positioning, your messaging, and when you have this type of content strategy, high ticket sales will happen like that. In seconds. It takes one post for someone to come, to read, to come DM you and pay you. This is how much it takes. But only when your messaging and positioning are extremely precise and speaking to that high level buyer who is ready for your high ticket offer. So the topic is the same, but you can see that the two different messages and positioning is totally different, right? And I want you to get very clear on what your ideal client wants and needs. What are their high value needs? For your niche, for your business, for your ideal client. Not for someone else in your niche, for you personally. For your business, for your offer. What is the transformation, not the struggle? The thing that will make their life easier, comfortable, more beautiful. What's the thing that will make it more efficient? And you need to route every piece of content and sales page, and even if you talk to people on the street, even your delivery, into these principles. Not the struggle, the transformation language and desires, and think of what is this actually making more efficient and easier for them. What is your competitive advantage of your methodology, of your offer, of your program? Stop speaking to people in pain, in suffering, and start speaking to the people who are ready to buy. Because if you are constantly in this, I'm not saying you cannot post something like, if you struggle with XYZ, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying that. But this is a language that is going to attract another type of buyer that you probably don't want, or not most of the time. So stop speaking to pain and struggling, because this way you're optimizing for engagement, not for sales. They will love your content, they will probably even come to your DMs from time to time telling you you're great, but your bank account is not going to be reflecting this engagement. If that happens and someone comes and tells you this is great but I am not ready right now or I cannot afford it, what you do? You do not convince them. This is as if you're dating and the person tells you I'm not ready for a serious relationship. You do not convince them, okay? Same thing in sales. You do not convince them. You move on and shift your messaging and positioning immediately on the same second, in the same second. If you want high ticket sales, sell them the high value transformation and desire and what's becoming easier, more efficient, more profitable, easier, funnier, more beautiful, more comfortable. Stop optimizing for engagement. 99% of the people do not comment. If you get a lot of comments, I know your sales are not as good as your engagement. I know it for a fact after 12 plus years in this industry. Now, the third step, let me talk about perception. This is where most people underestimate it. High ticket clients are not only buying your offer, okay? They are buying the environment around your offer, the type of people inside, or the level of thinking you represent. As I said, how easy and efficient this will be. The standard you set in your communication, the identity they step into when they join. This is why two programs, two products with identical content can sell at a completely different price points and levels. Because one might feel like instruction or, okay, that's great. The other feels like elevation and people are like, I want this. Do you know how many times I have asked people who hired me at a higher rate, why did they choose me? Do you know what they say? Because of the way you communicate, the way you behave very professionally, and because I saw that I'm going to get quick result. So there were other people who were offering something cheaper, probably very similar, but not at the same level. Working with me felt like elevation of their standards, of their, even if you wish, the way they operate, the way they perceive themselves, the way their messaging sounds, the way their positioning is set up, and the way their sales system is set up. Although my offer could have been more expensive sometimes. Think about that. This is for today. I want you to go implement. If you need, watch this again, put a hashtag replay if you're catching the replay. Tell me like your thoughts, your insights. I know this is very high level. You have probably not heard this many times, or you have heard it but not that much as like most of the advice online. So tell me in the comments about that. I want to hear your feedback. And I will also love it if you tell me what other topics would you love for our Tuesdays to Slay series. Thank you so much for being here, for your time, that you're listening to me. I love having you here inside the Success Circle. It's really nice to see these communities growing more and more, the level of your leadership, everything that you're doing. There are so many amazing people here, and I'm so glad and grateful that we could have this community and that I can host that community actually. Thank you so much for being with me. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.